longer be in office, but former Ombudsman Samuel Martires continues to face criticism over controversial decisions made during his term. Among them, an alleged secret ruling that overturned the 2016 dismissal order against a sitting senator. Critics say the move raises serious questions about transparency and accountability within the office of the Ombudsman. What really happened, and what does it mean for public trust in the institution meant to uphold the integrity in government? Let's get on point with former Ombudsman Samuel Martires. Sir, good to see you again. It's been a long time. Welcome to the show.
Good evening.
How have you been? I know that there's been some interviews with you, as even here this morning, and that term secret decision, secret ruling, it did not sit well with you. And in fact, meron din mga maanghang na salita kayong nabigkas dahil dito. What happened, sir? Was it a secret decision?
There is no secret decision in the office of the Ombudsman. There is what we call in the Ombudsman the case complaints and case monitoring system, CCMS. Once a complaint is filed before the office of the Ombudsman, the Central Records Division would immediately encode that complaint into the system. And then the complaint undergoes what we call the case evaluation. After the case evaluation, if the recommendation is for fact-finding investigation, it is referred to the two bureaus of the Field Investigation Office. If the recommendation is to have the case immediately subject to preliminary investigation, it is given to the Preliminary Investigation Office. It is raffled. Okay.
After that, raffled. Okay.
After that, raffled to a particular investigator. In the case of Joel Villanueva, at the time of Justice Carpio Morales, Justice Morales issued a decision sometime, I think, during the last week or last few days of October. She issued a decision dismissing Joel Villanueva from the service. That decision of Justice Morales, immediately Joel Villanueva, within the 10 days prescriptive period, filed this motion for reconsideration. Per the records that was given to me, Joel Villanueva received a copy of the dismissal order on November 2, 2016. On November 7, 2016, he filed his motion for reconsideration. Unknown probably to Ombudsman Morales, she did not act on that motion for reconsideration. I do not blame her for that. Because when a motion for reconsideration is filed, the Ombudsman does not know anything about it. It goes immediately, it is filed with the Central Records Division. The Central Records Division forwards it together with the records to the handling investigator. So unless the handling investigator will notify his or her director and the assistant ombudsman concerned, and the assistant ombudsman will tell the ombudsman will not know anything about it.
Okay.
The only reason I discovered about this motion for reconsideration is that about a few months after I assumed office in 2018, I asked for an ombudsman-wide inventory of cases.
What is that?
I have to inventory all pending cases before the office of the ombudsman. So doon namin nakita, mayroon palang pending motion for reconsideration.
So this was already in 2018?
2018.
That's right, okay.
Okay. So I asked my assistants to have this to follow up this motion for reconsideration. Another case is similarly situated. The motion for reconsideration was finally recommended for approval on July 31, 2019 by the Graft Investigation Officer. Then it was approved by the director of the Bureau and recommended to me for approval sometime in, I think, July.
That cannot be. You said July 31, 2019, there was a decision. And it was asked for your approval. It cannot be in July 2. Hindi po pwede. Sabi niyo po July 31 yung decision.
July 31 is the date when the Graft Investigation Officer finalized.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, July 31. The Assistant Ombudsman forwarded the same to me September, August, July. I think a few days after it was submitted to her. And then I approved it sometime in September of 2019. 2016, I think I approved it, and then on 2017, we informed the Senate of the existence of the...
Sorry, sir. Sorry, medyo nagkakagulo na po tayo sa dates.
Ah.
This is very important because there's, I think, a prescriptive period by which a ruling, an MR, has to be resolved.
Yes.
This is very important because basically from your last statement, you said that there was a finalized decision on July 31, 2019. Tapos pagkatapos, sabi niyo po, you must have decided on this sometime September 2019.
Approved.
Approved, okay. Kasi bumalik po kayo sa 2018. Okay, approved on 2019. All right,
2019.
September, and then, that's it.
That's it.
Okay. September 19 would be the date that the MR was decided upon, wherein you reversed the decision of the former ombudsman.
Yes.
Is this well within the 2-year prescriptive period by which an MR should
There is no
resolve?
prescriptive
There's
period
none, sir.
in the office of the ombudsman. This is the problem, actually. The office of the ombudsman is just performing executive functions. We call it executive functions because it only conducts preliminary investigation. The office of the ombudsman is not a regular court. The prescription of the Constitution that cases must be decided, speedy disposition of cases must be decided, refers to cases pending before the courts.
And this is not a court. The ombudsman,
The
is not a court. Okay.
The ombudsman is just like the prosecutors of the Department of Justice. Okay. The one who said it should be decided within 2 years is not the law. It is the Supreme Court and its decision. That the ombudsman, any decision of the ombudsman beyond the 2-year period is considered as inordinate delay. Okay. Funny thing is, last year, or I think this year...
Sorry, sir. Were you a member of the Supreme Court when it ruled that any decision by the Supreme Court must be, the ombudsman must be decided upon within the 2-year period? Otherwise, kung hindi po, ay inordinate delay.
Inordinate delay.
Miyembro ba kayo ng Supreme
Not yet.
Court?
No, it all started with the TATAD doctrine.
Okay.
TATAD has 3 years. The ombudsman was given by the Supreme Court 3 years to complete its preliminary investigation. Then, in Kagang, I think, I was a member of the court, but I refused to sign. I think it went to 2 years.
Okay.
But this is a Supreme Court decision telling the ombudsman what to do. Okay?
And is that wrong?
If the Supreme Court says in one case that it cannot, there is no inordinate delay with respect to decisions or preliminary investigations of the Department of Justice, then why is it that it is wrong for the ombudsman, to go beyond the 2-year period? Okay. You cannot compare cases before the office of the ombudsman with cases pending before the Department of Justice. The Department of Justice, they have murder cases, homicide, staffa. At best or at most, they will be having only about 10 or 20 documents. In ombudsman, when you're investigating a violation of the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act, you're talking of hundreds of documents. And a prosecutor is not focused on that particular case. He has other assigned cases. Take the case of family. There are, I think, about 10,000 pages. You have to review each and every voucher with respect to the transactions in family. Who are the signatories? What is the amount involved? So magkaiba yung ginagawa sa ombudsman sa preliminary investigation kaysa ginagawa sa DOJ. Document-laden ang mag-imbestiga ng graft cases. When I was not yet with the office of the ombudsman, I had the same question. Ba't ang tagal? Especially when I was still with the Sandigan Bayan, I always ask the prosecutors, ba't bang tagal ng inyong investigasyon kasi? Kaya kayo na inordinate delay. I did not understand. I only came to understand when I was appointed as ombudsman.
But then it's almost, sir, as if you're not following or you're not in agreement with what the Supreme Court said, that more than 2 years is inordinate delay. Does it mean that just because nag-ombudsman kayo, ay biglang hindi nyo na po susundin si Supreme Court?
Sinusunod namin. Ang problema is pabago-bago rin ang desisyon ng Supreme Court. Sometimes it's 2 years, sometimes it's 1 year. I think depending on the mood of the justices. I'm sorry to say those things. I might be cited in contempt by the Supreme Court, but that's true. They can look into the decisions on inordinate delay.
So are you saying, Ombudsman, that the Supreme Court at times decides that 2 years is inordinate delay, and then sometimes they'll say that 1 year is inordinate delay? The reason I'm asking that is because it's as if there's no clear and cut decision by the Supreme Court.
Apparently.
That's at least what I'm getting from you.
Apparently. I'll give you a case. The case of, I think, Philcoa, involving Danding Coanco and others. The case was brought to the Supreme Court 30 years ago on certiorari. So the one that was pending before the office of the Ombudsman at the time of Justice Carpio Morales they decided to archive the case because there is the case before the Supreme Court was not moving. Then about last year, the Supreme Court said, there is no case. The Ombudsman must now dismiss the cases because it has been sleeping in the office of the Ombudsman for 30 years. Hindi ho sa Ombudsman natulog yung kaso sa Supreme Court. Isino kami para lumaban sa Supreme Court? That is it.
Okay. Let's go back to this case, sir. Because if I were to go back to October 2016, decision of Ombudsman Conchita Carpio Morales, nag-MR po si Senator Joel Villanueva within 10 days. He received it November 2, nag-MR po siya November 7. So we'll stop the clock there at November 7, 2016. This is important, sir, because basically the decision of the Ombudsman yourself was finalized September 2019. Ibig sabihin po, 3 taon ito, more or less. 2 years.
3 taon natulog sa Ombudsman. But not during my time.
Yes, kasi 2018 po kayo
pumasok.
Okay. Pero ibig ko sabihin, in terms of this inordinate delay na 2 years supposed to be, now you're saying there are other decisions. If we were to understand the 2-year inordinate delay, lumampas na po ito sa 2 years between you and the former Ombudsman Conchita Carpio Morales. Would that be correct, sir?
Well, I don't think we will fall under that category of inordinate delay. Why? Because the decision is favorable to Joel Villanueva. So Joel Villanueva will not be crazy enough to go up to the Supreme Court and say,
there's inordinate delay.
There is inordinate delay, so my case should be dismissed. It is dismissed na ng Ombudsman.
Okay. All right. So, kasi sa kanya manggagaling yung question on inordinate delay, the person who is the subject of the case. So, let's go back to the question on the issue on secret decision. Bakit ho ba, alam ko po sinagot nyo na to, pero kailangan lang pong ulitin, why was this not publicized?
Okay. The Constitution says that matters or decisions arising from cases that were investigated by the Ombudsman has to be publicized under certain circumstances. That is also what the Ombudsman Act says, that under circumstances, the Ombudsman shall publish the decisions. So who decides under what circumstances, under what conditions must the Ombudsman? So meaning to say, this is the discretion of the Ombudsman when he is going to publish a particular decision.
Why did you decide not to publish it?
Well, I really don't know. I did not decide to have it published. That's about 9 years ago. I really can't remember why, but there must have been some reason why I did not have it published, because I never really have any decision published, and these reporters would ask me about a particular case, and kasi minsan mga reporter may mga tips sila eh. Justice, tapos na ang decision sa ganito. So I will check and sasabihin nila, can we have a copy of the decision? I will ask the Media Bureau, give them a copy of the decision.
But this is a high-profile case, sir. You obviously know that. Ibabalik ko yung tanong sa inyo na, ombudsman kayo eh, tanod bayan kayo eh. Kayo dapat ang nag-check ng corruption dito po sa mga elected officials. This is a case supposedly of the PDAF scam, not supposedly, it's the PDAF scam, it's a pork barrel scam to the tune of 10 million pesos that was supposedly, well, hindi po nagamit sa tama. In the same manner that the corruption scandal, the flood control scandal is taking center stage right now. In other words, Ombudsman, it's a big case. It's Joel Villanueva, it's Senator Joel Villanueva. Why didn't you just publicize it? Because pag kayo po ay natanggal na doon, magtataka din po, didn't you think this was going to happen? Na bigla na lang po, sandali lang, ba't kaya hindi sinabi ni Ombudsman Samuel Martires na na-reverse na yung decision kay Senator Joel Villanueva?
I really don't know the reasons why I did not have it published. But siguro naging ugali ko na hindi ako mahilig mag-publish ng mga decisions ko. Probably that's my temperament as a former member of the judiciary. But looking back, I don't think there is a necessity to publish this. Because, you know, the critics of Joel Villanueva will not really believe the defenses of Joel Villanueva. In much the same way that Justice Carpio Morales also did not believe in the defenses of Joel Villanueva. He raised 2 defenses. One, the signature is forged, and the other one is he is not a member of the Buhay Party List. Eh, paano namin kukontrahin yung findings ng question documents of the National Bureau of Investigation? The National Bureau of Investigation says the signatures are not similar. It's forged. Do I have to hire an expert to just say that is not a forged signature? This is no longer prosecution. This is persecution.
All right. Ombudsman, we just need to take a very short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Still with us, former Ombudsman Samuel Martires. Very quickly, sir, because ito pong kay Senator Joel, because you reversed the decision. Sabi mo nga, kung magka-inordinate delay issue should be coming from Senator Joel. But wasn't that, wasn't that a disservice to two segments? One, to Senator Joel Villanueva, because you could have easily said that, tapos na yung kasong yan, binaliktad ko na, at yun po kahit papano makakatulong or hindi sa kanya. Because right now, sir, because hindi niyo po pinablicize yan, you didn't publish it, you can go on X and all that, and it'll say, meron ka pang kaso sa PDAF, dapat tanggal ka sa pwesto, dapat wala ka doon. Hindi ho ba nagkulang kayo sa kanya, number one? And number two, hindi ho ba kayo nagkulang din sa publiko dahil this is of national importance? It's important to the Filipino people. It is, after all, the people's money. Again, as mentioned a while ago, this is something that we're very all interested in.
Yes, I understand. I know that. As I said, I really don't know what made me decide not to have it publicized. But I am so sure that we informed the Senate about this. Joel Villanueva knew also about it. Why he did not have it published? Dapat matuwa siya, di ba? Ni-reverse yung Carpio Morales. Bakit hindi niya pinpublish din? Bakit hindi niya binigay sa reporters? The only instance he was talking about the reversal was in 2022 when he was running for re-election. That was the time he was talking about the reversal of the decision. So nagtataka rin ako, bakit hindi siya napakadali, bibigyan mo lang sa reporter, oh?
Why didn't you, sir? How about
si
you?
Joel,
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
But why didn't you? Nung nagtataka po kayo, why didn't you? You were
Noong
still
nagtaka lang ako noong ito ngayon lang. Nagtataka ako, bakit noon, I was asking, mayroon ba lumabas sa dyaryo? Sabi nila, mayroon. Kailan? 2022. So nagtataka ako, bakit wala bang 2019? I kept on searching. Wala bang 2019 na nilabas si Joel Villanueva that his case was decided by Conchita, was reversed by the President Ombudsman? Wala eh. It was only in 2022 when he started talking about it.
Did you think, sir, that there's a lot, I guess, that has come out since your retirement, di ho ba? You retired July 27. Una-una, of course, yung SALN, much talked about that there were prohibitions by the Ombudsman Samuel Martires para makuha yung mga SALN. I know that, sabi mo nga, sa Supreme Court may certain consent, kailangan ng consent sa House of Representatives, etc. And then the new ombudsman, lifted the restrictions and made it, appears to be easier to get a copy of the SALN. Looking back, sir, do you still stand by that decision of yours to put restrictions
Yes,
in the SALN?
yes.
Hindi niyo po, you don't regret this?
No. Why? The Republic Act 67713 was enacted in 1989. In 2012, we have the Data Privacy Act. So practically, yung sinasabi sa 6713 na i-divulge mo lahat, pati kaluluwa mo, sabi sa Data Privacy Act, ops, hindi po pwede yan. Okay. Well, the new ombudsman says, ilalabas. You're only limited to the SALN of the President, the Vice President, the
Members? Local officials.
members of the constitutional offices like the Ombudsman, the Civil Service, the COA, the provincial governor, the mayors, the councilors. Oo. Ngayon, last Saturday, the Office of the President said no. It should only be released upon valid and justifiable reasons. And it should be redacted. So, ibig sabihin, alam din ng Office of the President na you have to also, because this will compromise actually the safety and security of the government official involved. Eh kung i-release mo lang, kahit sino pwede mag-access sa SALN.
But then, dapat ho bang baguhin si 6713, si Republic Act 6713? I mean, it's quite simple to me as a non-lawyer. Public officials, employees have an obligation to accomplish and submit declarations under oath of, and the public has a right to know their assets, liabilities, net worth, and financial and business interests, including those of their spouses and unmarried children under 18 years old of age living. I can go down, but sir, yun lang ho talaga yung nakasulat eh.
Yes.
Obligation eh.
Yes, that is why I was saying, after I issued that guidelines, because the only requirement is get the consent of the government official. I was telling Congress, can we not just amend 6713 na ang magbibigay mismo sa taong bayan yung government official concerned in a redacted form. Hindi mo na kailangan pa pumunta sa ombudsman, pumunta sa judiciary na pahingin ng salin.
Hindi mo dapat hingin. Dapat siguro they should just present it.
Precisely, I was asking Congress about it.
And what did they say?
Siyempre, they have to protect themselves also.
Okay. Do you think that they're their prohibitions or restrictions were more than what you actually implemented? Kasi that was your first order of business, ni ba, when you sat as ombudsman?
Marami naman. But yes, with respect to the
that was
SALN,
your
yes.
first AO, yeah.
Kasi,
sir, ito, idagdag ko lang, kay Senator Kiko Pangilinan, I want to put that up on the screen. Ang sabi niya po, unahin na niya to Ombudsman Remulla, unahin niya ilabas yung SALN ni dating Ombudsman Martires mula nang umupo ito bilang Supreme Court Justice hanggang sa pagbaba nito sa pwesto bilang Ombudsman nitong 2025. Baka sakaling magkaalaman na bakit tutol ito sa paglabas ng SALN?
hindi ako tutol sa paglabas ng SALN. Kasi hindi lang naman kami tutol eh. Nakalimutan ni Senator Pangilinan na siya sa Senado. At sila mismo sa Senado ay may sariling guidance na hindi mo pwede ilabas ang SALN ng isang senador kung walang consent yung senador. Diba? Kailangan may consent bawat isa eh. This is the requirement actually of the Data Privacy Act. That's why I was surprised when he said that. As a senator, he should know the laws. Alam niya dapat yung Data Privacy Act has practically amended or repealed the requirements in 6713. Ano ba ginawa kong anomalya? Had he said only na dapat ilabas yung SALN ko, period, okay sa akin. The problem is he went further para magkaalaman. E di sabihin niya, kung meron akong ginang anomalya, di kasawan niya ako. Why did he also just file a SALN of 23 million? Is that believable? Why didn't he let his wife, Sharon Cuneta, join or state his assets and liabilities in his SALN?
So that's questionable to you?
Yes, because the requirement of 6713 is joint. Whether your wife is in the government or not. Marami ho akong kaibigan, marami ho akong empleyado sa ombudsman o sa ibang ahensya ng mga asawa na sa private pero sinasama yung income ng asawa sa kanilang sa kanilang declaration of assets and liabilities. Bakit sa hindi? Nakatingin ba sa ibang direksyon? He is the one violating 6713 actually, not me. Wala akong tinatago.
Is your SALN readily available, Ombudsman? Or kailangan ho bang hingin ng consent ninyo para ibigay nyo? Or are you ready to just
I can show
forward
I can
SALN?
show it as long as you will promise that you will have it publicized. And it will be redacted with respect to the address and everything. I can account for all my money that I have, and the reason why I issued actually that guideline, that memorandum order number 1 is because I gave to the media my exit SALN sa Supreme Court and my entry SALN sa Ombudsman. Siyempre, nung ako'y mag-retire sa Supreme Court, wala pa ako natatanggap na pension. Pagpasok ko sa Ombudsman, natanggap ko na yung 5-year pension ko. So talagang tumaas yung SALN ko. Sabi ng Philippine Star, Ombudsman reach her by an X amount in 5 months. Para bang nangurakot ako every month for an X amount. That's not good. So yan ang sinasabi ko, we need to be nice. You try to destroy a public official or employee.
Would you be able to tell us how much you're worth, sir? What is your net worth?
No, I really don't know. I forgot.
One question, sir. Siguro one more topic, no? There's been also this order for, dalawa po what I'm reading, a total 204 hires in the Office of the Ombudsman are being asked to apply. Otherwise, they will be considered midnight appointees. Ang sabi po ni Ombudsman Remulla, you don't want to be arriving in a place, then all the empty seats you expected for your companions are suddenly filled up. Diretsuhan ng tanong na po, kayo ho ba bago umalis sa Office of Ombudsman, ay nagpasok ho kayo talaga ng daan-daan, lagyan na natin sa 200 or 300 people to fill up these positions?
This is what actually happened, okay? We were filling up vacancies. As we were always the subject of an audit observation memorandum by COA, na maraming bakante sa ombudsman hindi namin finifilapan. So we started filling up vacancies slowly. Okay. Then, in 2023, I together with the deputies decided, or I myself decided, to merge the Field Investigation Office and the Preliminary Investigation Office to speed up the investigation of cases because of this inordinate delay issue. So 2024, August of 2024, I requested the Department of Budget and Management for the creation of 60 lawyer positions from Draft Investigation Officer 1 to 4.
Okay.
It was approved. Okay. When it was approved by the Department of Budget and Management, immediately we asked the Civil Service Commission that it be published. So we had it published. But before that, the Department of Budget and Management gave us this Notice of Organization and Staffing Pattern, the NOSCA, in January of 2025. We started, what is this? publicizing the hiring,
Vacancies.
the vacancies. There were, I think, about 2,000 plus applicants for the 60 lawyer positions. So personnel has to go over each and every application if the documents are complete. Doon pa lang sa Graph Investigation Officer 1, there were about 300 applicants. So I asked the panel who were interviewing these applicants, I said, do not anymore conduct panel interview. Mag one-on-one na lang kayo para mabilis. Okay. In short, naabutan ito lahat hanggang sa malapit ako magtapos.
Dahil nag-one-on-one.
Dahil nag-one-on-one, natapos, naipirmahan ko ng July. All these appointments are approved by the Civil Service Commission. Now, the term midnight appointees is misplaced. There is no midnight appointee in the office of the Ombudsman. The term midnight appointee only refers to appointees in the office of the President or in any of the political offices, not in regular government offices. Now, I throw back the question again to Ombudsman Remulla. Before he also left the Department of Justice, he recommended to the President his own men to be appointed as prosecutors. Is that midnight appointment? I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, in fairness to him, it's the President who appoints. But he was the one who recommended. Alam na niya ma-appoint siya. So, bakit ba yung gawain mo pwede sa'yo, ako hindi ako pwede? Yan ang lagi kong tanong eh. Bakit tama sa'yo, sa akin mali?
Kami ang boses ng masa, hindi natatakot. Katotohanan lang, di kami nalulunod. Walang bahid ng sismis, lahat ay totoo. Kahit sino ka pa, pag mali ka babanatan ka. Walang pinipili kulay, wala kaming kinikilingan. Basta para sa bayan, kami lalaban. Pag tama palakpakan, pag mali banatan. Di matitinag, di matatakot, para sa bayan tuloy ang sigaw. Sa harap ng kamera, walang halong takot. Mga baluktot, lahat kayo'y tutumba. Ang hustisya at totoo, yun lang ang mahalaga. Kahit sinong harang, di kami matitinag. Walang pinipiling kulay, wala kaming kinikilingan. Basta para sa bayan, kami lalaban. Pag tama palakpakan, pag mali banatan. Di matitinag, di matatakot, para sa bayan tuloy ang sigaw. Kung nasa tama ka, ikaw ay aming kasama. Pero pag mali ka, handa ka na bang mabasag? Banateros kami, walang inuurungan. Dahil bayan muna, bago ang sarili. Bago ang sarili. Pag tama palakpakan, pag mali banatan. Banateros ang sigaw, katotohanan ang laban. Sa harap ng kamera, wala